Well, welcome back to my snowy garden, everyone. And it is January 6th, and we weren't supposed to get any snow today. Maybe a light dusting, but that light dusting quickly turned into 2 inches. And as you can see, it's still snowing. So we might end up with even more than like the 2 inches. But my garden here is in Central Virginia, 7A, 6B. And we just getting a lot of snow this year. So 2 weeks ago we got about 5 inches, which normally isn't that big of a deal, but it was some ice and some snow. So snow first and then a lot of sleet on top of that, but that all hardened into one giant ice block or a skating rink. So none of it has really melted. And it wasn't until this week that we were actually finally able to plow our driveway, because we could either get like the top millimeter off, or when we tried to dig the box blade in, it would try and pull up uh, the whole sheet of ice, which then would bog down the tractor. So I wasn't really able to get much done until finally Tuesday and Wednesday, when I was able to. We got some temperatures finally above freezing, that it was able to soften some of that ice and allowed me to plow it. But now we're getting like another 2 inches on top of that, so it's going to help insulate that ice and freeze it up. But hopefully, like next week, uh, we should be having some wet temperatures in the 40s and 50s, so that will help finally get rid of some of this ice. But this beautiful snow behind me is actually sticking, so that means it should be sticking to the Japanese maples and really uh, showing off the structure that they provide here in our winter garden. So let's go take a look at the beautiful trees in my garden. So like most of my tours, I always kind of start here with my Leyland cypresses, just because they really show just how beautiful that snow can be as they kind of capture uh, all the snow that's falling. And you can see the holly trees back here. So these are American holly, which get massive. So you can see this American holly let's see, back here, that's probably at least 30 feet tall. This one here closer to me is probably, that one there is probably about 20 feet tall. So just some beautiful structures that some of the native hollies provide. And you can see all the birds kind of at my bird feeder, and the hollies actually have all the red berries on them too. So just providing some good food for the birds throughout the season. But the last few weeks, the birds have really drained my bird feeder there. I think as the ice has kind of been preventing them from getting some of their normal food. They've been really going after that a lot more than normal during the winter time. But if we kind of pan this way, we can start the tour over here. So this is my Sweet Bay magnolia, which is a great magnolia tree. Has the flowers, the big white flowers, not quite as big as the southern magnolia, but it also, instead of having a brown back, has more of a silver back. And but the flowers provide like that nice lemon smell. So Sweet Bay is a great native, usually found closer into swamps, but it does really well here and looks great with all the snow collecting on the leaves there. But if we kind of look up here, you can see that it has more, like I said, of a silver back versus the brown back, which looks really cool when it blows in the wind, and or if it's like a really clear night and you get that moonlight kind of reflecting off of it. It looks really neat having that silver back. Over here I have a couple maples kind of out away from the other ones. So just some of my two bigger pot ones. So this is my hot sauce, and it's looking great there. This is a red what is it? It's a Acer oliveranum hot sauce. So it kind of looks like it has a palmatum, more of a palmatum style leaf than the traditional oliveranum leaf, but it's a great red. And next to that, and this one over here is my cotonuito, which has a linear lobum leaf, or like a bamboo kind of leaf, or a really long strap leaf is another name for them. But both of them have been doing great here in the winter time. I haven't moved them because I should have potted them both up in the fall, but just didn't get around to it. So their roots are growing into the ground, and I didn't really want to disturb them with the cold temperatures that we are having. They're fine in the pot. I'm in the zone 7. Both of these are rated to zone 5. So when they're in a pot, you lose 2 zones of hardiness. So that means they would put them at a zone 7. And so they're fine here, especially with the snow insulating them from the last couple of weeks when we got really cold into the single digits. Luckily, they were forecasting us to drop below 0, but we never got below 0. I think our coldest temperature was like 5 degrees. So definitely a lot better than 0 degrees. But yep, those are those two. We kind of walk over here. Next to my back stoop, I have my beautiful orangeola, and next to that is my Florida Sunshine Elysium. And that orangeola, that structure is really being accentuated by the snow collecting on all the curvy branches. It just provides so much beautiful winter structure here in the garden. And orangeola is a lace leaf. That's, unlike the name, it's not really orange, it's more of a reddy orange. And then it gets a deep olive green in the summertime, and then kind of goes to a reddy orange in the fall. But it's a beautiful Japanese maple, very weeping, as you can kind of see from these branches here, more of an umbrella shape than growing out wide. So if you want a maple that kind of grows more up and down versus out to kind of fit in a narrower section, orangeola is definitely a good candidate. And here we have my Florida Sunshine Elysium, or one of them. And this one, having those nice broad leaves, really help collect the snow. So that's one reason, if you watch my video prepping for the ice storm, or what I thought was going to be a big ice storm. Luckily no ice or snow or anything stuck that day. We had a really light snow, so everything just kind of fell through the trees and onto the ground. I was worried about having to prune it back. And so, as I was showing, if we have snow like this before it freezes, if you're worried about something breaking, you can shake it off just like that and it will go to the ground. So like these branches here that are kind of hung over, let's see, if I just give it a light shake, it'll kind of help spring them back up. So that way I don't have to worry about them falling off. But once this is ice, I do not do this anymore, because then you're going to have it'll freeze and you can actually break the limbs with them being frozen. So if you're going to do it while it's snowing, or while it's still soft and snow like this. Like I said, just give it a light shake and the snow will come off. And as you can see, it's looking a lot better, not bending over as much. So some of your evergreens that collect snow that maybe aren't adapted for the snow, like this one, I'm right on the edge of where Florida Sunshine likes to grow. I think it's technically a zone 7B, and me being in a zone 7A, 6B, I'm like right on the edge of where this one can grow. So I have to come out and make sure that I'm protecting it from snow and things like that. But it's a beautiful shade plant. This area kind of gets morning sun until about 11 o'clock noon, and then it is in deep shade after that. But it does really well here. So let's kind of continue on with the tour. So now to get here, my butterfly is looking really nice right now. So that's an Acer palmatum butterfly, a very beautiful variegated white and cream and green variegation with some pink in it. This one, the variegation is very consistent for me, comes back every year. See a Ann magnolia, so that's a tulip magnolia, looking great with all the snow on that structure. So here's another Florida sunshine alyssum, so kind of the same thing. This one I actually pruned before the last ice storm, just in case I was afraid it was going to get like this. And then give it a shake, get all that off. That way it springs right back up. So kind of the same thing with this lower branch that's leaning over. I give it a shake. Hopefully it'll kind of help spring it back up and into position. So this branch that's kind of leaning over, this is a Joe Pye weed. So this is a perennial that I usually leave some of my native perennials like Joe Pye weed, so that way bees and other insects that use them during the winter time for homes have some native plants around here. And so this is a great, it also offers some good structure here in the winter time. And then in the springtime, I'll come back and prune it back to the ground. This is a laurel petal, purple daydream. Same thing, this one's kind of looking really low to the ground. I can shake it and you can see how it springs back up. My Macaulay Yetsubusa is looking great. It really is being, that snow really brings out or highlights that shape or accentuates that shape. So it's looking great right now. Macaulay Yetsubusa is a beautiful Japanese maple that provides like a very unique shingling layer leaf structure, green in the spring and summer, and then this beautiful red and orange and yellow fall colors. But the natural growth is this really unique patterns. So yep, just a beautiful tree, a lot of people's favorite Japanese maple for good reason. Shake some of the snow there off of my Ukubo japonicum. The azaleas are really collecting the snow there, looking great. Let's see, this Japanese maple here is winter gold. I spin around. And this here is always a favorite of mine, especially during the winter time when it really collects the snow like this. This is my Colorado blue spruce. This is baby blue, and you can just see the beautiful structure that it provides and the beautiful color. Nothing beats that blue color of a Colorado blue spruce there on the needles that it provides. As I have a lot of blue conifers, but my favorite blue is the blue that you get in Colorado blue spruces. It's just unreal, and nothing else compares to it. A lot of the other blue conifers are more of a blue green, but the Colorado blue spruces, these are like an actual like ice blue. Very, very cool, very unique. The key to growing them here in the South, especially in Virginia, is having them above grade. So this one's probably about 6 inches to 10 inches above grade. It's hard to tell with the snow, but if you can kind of see where my paver is there, that's grade, and the paver's about 2 inches, and then that is up on top of it. So it's hard to tell with the snow, but it's probably about, like I said, 6 inches above grade, yeah, at least. And then also watering them in, especially that first year or two. And then anytime that we have long spells without rain coming out and giving them some water. So that's the key to keeping your Colorado blue spruces looking well and thriving here in the hot, humid summers. Some beautiful structure here on my roses, and that's that bush there is candy corn, our double play spirea candy corn, I think is what it's called. Over here are some of my smaller maples that are potted, so just doing well. If you see my other videos, so the back one back here, that's a Skylands Oriental Spruce. This is a baby blue ice Cambria cyperus. This is another Colorado blue spruce Slenderina, or also known as the blues, which is a weeping variety. Over here I got gold coin, which is a Scots pine. Another Colorado blue spruce right there, Fat Albert. This one back here is Bird Curve, which is a eastern white pine, I believe. It's definitely a white pine. I think it's an eastern white pine. And then down here is Little Sky, which is another gold oriental spruce. But that yellow right now on gold coin, so I got this to replace my Chief Joseph's that kept dying. Gold coin can handle the heat and humidity of the south a lot better than Chief Joseph, and you can just see how much that yellow is popping, especially against that snow. So this one is looking great. So if you can find a gold coin, which is a Scots pine, I would highly recommend it, especially if you live in the south and you want a Chief Joseph, but unfortunately they keep dying. It's definitely worth trying to grow a Chief Joseph. If you can get it to live, they look amazing, but a runner-up is definitely this gold coin. Like I said, those needles are bright yellow. Let's go look at some of the other trees in my garden. So we can start right here with my Diamond Spire gardenia. So this one is a single flower gardenia that this, instead of growing more like a bush, this one grows more of a conical or a cone shape. So I've had it, I got it as a small like quart-sized pot, and then had to move it around a couple times just to find a spot where it was getting enough sun. But I found it, and yeah, it seems to be really happy here. I have another one closer to my shed that's a lot bigger, also got as a quart pot. But that one I didn't have to transplant a couple times, so that's why it's putting on a little bit more growth. But gardenias have amazing smell. If you can grow one, once again, I'm kind of right on the northern edge of where they like to grow, but gardenias make great evergreen shrubs, and also provide some beautiful flowers that are really fragrant there in the late spring, early summer. Here's my germanes dry aeration. You can really see those curves with the snow collecting on them, and this is what it kind of does naturally. I have a few spots where I have it staked, but that's mostly to help kind of prevent it from rubbing on itself versus giving it twisting and contorting habits like I did with like my orangeola. So this is more, okay, how can I get this branch or branches to kind of not rub on itself? So like this one here, it's wanting to go back down, so I'm going to probably stake it up, so something like that, so that way it has enough space as the tree continues to grow. So before it hardens, I'll probably add a stake to stake that branch up. But that snow just shows you the beautiful curves of germanes dry aeration. So this is a grain lace leaf, for those that don't know. They have a beautiful yellow orangey-ish fall color. Here's my Kura Nijishi, looking good with the snow on it. This is the female lion, or the red lion. So in the springtime, it kind of gets like a brick red spring color, and then kind of goes to the gray and then a red fall color. So it's looking good with that snow on it. This is a hydrangea. I forget the type, but it's one that blooms on new and old wood, which is unique. I think it's called Mondant or something like that. But I think it's one of the Let's Dance series by proven winners. Have really good luck with that one. Dragon Master, which is a weeping spring interest ricin style. So I need to do some work with this one. I want to train it to kind of grow up so it's not kind of growing out as much. And I'm going to move it once the ground thaws. I was sun pushing it to get the most spring interest and yellow out of it, but I think it's just in a little bit too much sun for my area. It's in sun from like 7 a.m. to like 2 p.m. I think I'm going to try and move it to a spot that's in sun from like 7 a.m. to noon, so I still get enough sun on it to get that beautiful spring interest. That's kind of like, I think this one's like orange dream, kind of that coloration, or maybe it's like katsura. Maybe it's katsura, and then the Golden Falls is like orange dream. But either way, it's a beautiful weeping ricin style, heavily weeping. As you can see from those branches, they want to go like straight down once they start to grow. But if you can find Dragon Master, highly recommend that Japanese maple. Over here, this is my beautiful lace leaf red dragon. So as the name provides, it's a red lace leaf, and it just provides beautiful structure here. It is a little bit slower growing than like a Tamukiyama. I think even slower growing than a Crimson Queen, maybe 4x4 in 10 years. But it's pretty common. You can find it sometimes at big box stores. You can find it at most garden centers. It does hold its red very, very well for me, and it's one of the more heat tolerant or sun tolerant red lace leaves. Some red lace leaves, like Crimson Queen, at least here in Zone 7 in Virginia, after about noon, 1 o'clock, they need to be in shade. Red Dragon can handle some of that afternoon sun. Now, it can't handle all day sun. I tried that with a different Red Dragon and didn't like it. But if this one is in sun from, like I said, like my Dragon Master behind it, from like 7 to 2, and it does fine here. I've also seen red dragons that have morning shade and afternoon sun, and it can do one or the other, but it can't do all day sun. But if you're looking for a tree that provides beautiful structure and red throughout the year, and can handle some sun, red dragon is definitely a great option. And we can just see all that snow has filled in here in my yard. So let's kind of continue down the driveway. You can see where I kind of plowed the driveway here, and it's getting filled back in with all that ice there. But all that kind of leads to the start of my winter garden, which is my bihu right now. The snow just really helps that yellow bark pop against that white snow. And bihu, I've done a lot of highlight videos on it this winter, and it's been in every garden tour for good reason. It's a zone 6 through zone 9, so a lot of the coral barks instead of being zone 5 like a lot of other Acer palmatum, this one is a zone 6, and it just provides this beautiful yellow, like golden butter yellow winter bark interest. Just an amazing tree. Does well here, gets a lot of morning sun and a little bit of afternoon sun, and then midday high shade, and seems to be doing really well. The key with bihu, because I know some people struggle with it, is planting it high and providing it really good drainage. That's the key to growing a bihu. I know the West Coast really struggles with it for whatever reason. The East Coast, some people struggle with it, but it's usually because it either doesn't have good drainage or they didn't plant it high enough. So just something to keep in mind if you want to keep your bihu looking great. But if you can find one, nothing beats this beautiful yellow bark. Some of the other plants kind of in this bed, I got an early wonder camellia right there. This is a Japanese white pine, Pinus parviflora. I always forget the name. I know it starts with a T. It's like Tempelhof, I think is what it is. or Temple Huff or something like that. Another Macaulay Yetsubusa variant. This one here is lily pad. You can see that beautiful structure that the snow is providing lily pad there. Behind that is a dark straw, which is a red lace leaf. And behind that is my white peaches, which is a reticulated style, or ghost, some people call reticulation. That's what the Ghost series has in its leaves, where you can kind of see the veining. And that one's white peaches back here. That one is a really cool tree. Over next to it, this is my Jordan, which is a Acer Shurasamanum. Kind of comes out yellow in the springtime. Beautiful tree. Next to that is my, this is a Shana. And we'll probably end the tour soonish. I just thought I would, like I said, kind of show some of the highlights, some of the trees throughout my garden here. Let's come down to Ethel, which is one of my favorite lace leaves, and see how it's looking. So in this area of my garden are a lot of my japonicums, just because it gets a lot of high shade all day. And then this one is my, that's an Acer Pictum Hoshiodori. Beautiful variegated Acer Pictum with light green and dark green swirls in the leaves. But this is my Acer Palmatum Ethel, which is beautiful lace leaf, reddish tones in the spring, and then goes to green in the summer, and then amazing, one of the best fall colors of any of the Acer Palmatums or any of the Japanese maples. Has red leaves, orange leaves, and yellow leaves all at the same time. Just an amazing tree. Ethel's is a great one. And then kind of scattered through here, like I said, are all some of my japonicums. I have some camellias and some other things kind of provided some structure. And you can see some more of the American hollies right there. And this whole side of my garden's mostly American hollies and hardwoods. Let's see, back here. Let's see, right here is my Kristen star. Unfortunately got rubbed on by one of the deer, but hopefully it'll survive. I think there's at least 1 or 2 branches above the graft that they didn't break off. So I'm crossing my fingers on that one. Ever Autumn right here. A beautiful upright Acer Circinatum Palmatum hybrid. Back here in my cage, this is my umbrella pine, and it's looking great with the snow on it. A little hard to see with all that snow, but umbrella pines are such a unique tree. If you can find one, as you can see, the spokes kind of look like the structure of an umbrella. Very slow growing, hard to graft. So a lot of them are done by tissue culture, from my understanding. As we kind of work our way up, here is my Fastigiae. This is a Japanese plum yew. I got over here is my ginkgo. This is American. And this here is my bright orange azalea called Gibraltar. You can find Gibraltar. It's one of the brightest, purest orange azalea flowers. So I highly recommend that one if you can find it. Some winter structure here from my goldenrods. Behind it is an English lace, Japanese, or no, that one's not English lace. That one is Lionheart. Here's another coral bark. And this one is Gold Digger. You can kind of see that beautiful, more red and orangey tones there in Gold Digger. Beautiful Japanese maple. Some of my camellias that are covered in snow. Down here is my very small, this is Ojishi, which is a smaller version of Shishi Shigira. Beautiful Japanese maple. Another azalea, and then another camellia, and then back here some of my rhododendrons. This here is a Marvel Mahonia. I see over here are some of my Shirasawanums. So I have like Bronze Age, Moonrise. This one is Magic Moon, Purple Curl. And this is my Esk Sunset. Let's see what else I kind of have in this area. So Esk Sunset for reference again, Purple Curl. And that one is Bini Mazua, I think is how it's pronounced. And then over here, this is my English lace. This one's Sunny. So actually I have a lot of Shirasawanums kind of all in the same area. Another camellia that the deer have been eating on. My bright yellow of the needles of my, this is Golden Duke hemlock or Canadian hemlock. Beautiful shade conifer. It's hard to find a conifer that likes some shade, but hemlocks do it. If you can find one that has this beautiful golden needles on it. So Golden Duke has it, and then I think the other one's called Golden Duchess. Golden Duke forms more of a cone shape, and Golden Duchess is more of a shorter, squattier shrub shape. Aka Hadoshi, which is a red Linear lobum. You see the tree I'm protecting from the deer that, whatever reason, were scraping on it and eating all the pine needles, which I've never seen before until this year. So put a cage around it to kind of help stop the damage. We'll kind of end the tour, kind of highlighting some of these conifers. So here's my English lace, which is a Acer palmatum. This one here is Blue Totem, which is another Colorado blue spruce, but this one grows very narrow and upright. So that's why I kind of put it here next to the walkway. Back there is blue teardrop, which is a white spruce. And over here is my Camerocypris nightlight. And if you see all the yellow flags, those are marking where my peonies are. I also collect peonies along with the conifers and Japanese maples. Here's my Shirasame back here. Let's see if I don't want to step on my peonies. Back here, this beautiful tree is my, this is Dark Blue Angel, which is a deodar cedar. So it's a deodar cedar that has bluish green needles, called Dark Blue Angel. I think it's a newer cultivar, because if you see my shorts on it or my highlight video on it, it's hard to find information about it. So it was either mislabeled or it's a newer cultivar. I think it's a newer cultivar. I've had it now for about 2 to 3 years. But the ones that it could have been mislabeled with, the cones don't look the same at all. So that's why I think it's more of a newer cultivar than something else. But either way, a beautiful, really narrow, upright tree. Because that's the other thing. Some of the trees that it could be, or people think it might be, are more weeping, and this is definitely upright. So I know that it looks like it's weeping because of the snow load on it, but it's definitely an upright, very narrow tree. So if it's correct, the information I found on it stays, it gets like 20 feet tall, but maybe 2 to 4 feet wide. So definitely very narrow, which is kind of the habit that it's staying right now. Well, like I said, we'll kind of finish the tour over here. So Blue Totem, Blue Teardrop, and then this one here is Blue Lou, which is another beautiful blue pine. It's just looking great with all that snow on it. And once again, a lot of the maples is kind of in the background, so reds and yellows and greens just to kind of help, different colors to kind of help accentuate each other as the season goes on, and then the conifers here for some winter interest, and also to provide some different colors to what the maples can provide. And obviously all my peonies there in the ground, or peonies in the ground, provide such beautiful flowers there in the late spring, early summer. So I figured I would maybe finish up my tour here. I know I said I was going to finish up over there, but here's my Pinus densiflora Pope, which is a beautiful variegated styled pine tree, and you can see how it starts green near the stem, and then yellow, and then green again. And when these things open up in the spring and you look down, it kind of looks like a kaleidoscope with the swirling that it provides. It's pretty neat. But yeah, Pope is a really cool Pinus densiflora, or Japanese red pine. Stays a lot smaller than some of the other Japanese red pines. This one's, I think, like 4 to 6 feet tall in 10 years. So if you definitely want something that stays a little bit on the smaller side, I would recommend this one. Here's another camellia. And this one got a little bit of leaf burn in that cold temperatures we have. This is lemon glow, so beautiful yellow bloom in late winter, early spring. So looking forward to the blooms. I don't think the buds are damaged, just the leaves got a little burn on them during those days that were down in the single digits. Okay. And then back here is one of my favorite trees from last year. This is the chameleon maple, Gable's Glory, and it did not disappoint. It took a couple years for it to hit, get its roots established before it finally started putting on the color show that it's known for, and it was well worth that wait, because it just kept providing beautiful reds and oranges and yellows, and throughout the whole growing season, from spring to fall. Like, it seemed like every day I was out here taking pictures of it or filming it. So I'm sure you guys saw a lot of highlight videos of it throughout the different months last year, for those who've been following my channel for a little bit. But yep, either way, if you can find Gable's Glory, Acer palmatum, Gable's Glory, highly recommend this one. Like I said, it took, for me, about 2 years, and it was the 3rd year before it really put on that show that it's known for, but it was well worth that wait. Let's go look at one more part of my garden. Well, welcome back, and here I want to highlight, this is another deodar cedar. This is Feeling Blue right here, which is a beautiful blue weeping style deodar cedar, kind of a bluish green needles most of the year, but the new growth definitely has more of that blue tint in it, and it just provides a beautiful structure. You can either stick it up and make it into cool shapes, or you can kind of let it be a ground cover and let it kind of meander along the ground. But either way, Feeling Blue is a great tree. Here is my Tamukiyama, which is a cultivar from the 1700s, and if it's been around this long, you know it's good. This is a beautiful red lace leaf, and my neighbor's dog, I guess, heard me talking and decided to start barking. But beautiful structure there on Tamukiyama. And of course right here is the coral bark maple, or Sengukaku, and you can just see that beautiful red bark there that it provides. And this one, the brightest colors are always on the newest growth, and then it fades as the branches get a little bit older. But either way, it just provides a 4-season interest plant. Sengukaku is a great one if you can find it. It has some of the best yellow, pure yellow fall colors of any of the maples that I found. Bihu is a close second, but Sengukaku's yellow fall color is just outstanding. So thank you guys for joining me on this tour. If you have any questions about any of the trees that we talked about, or how they do in my Zone 7 6B Virginia garden, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching.